Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here for day one, reading one of Manga Monday. The last time that we did manga was a few months ago. We read through all of Oyasumi Punpun, that was on Tuesdays. Then I guess you could say JoJo's, where we've been reading the manga alongside the anime. That's an interesting experience too. This time though, it's a dedicated slot. We're replacing Retro Monday Overdrive at least for the time being. And I ran a poll, put a bunch of manga on the poll. And the one that won by a pretty strong margin was Goodbye Eri, story and art by Tatsuki Fujimoto. First page up. Shadows. Layers, shadows. Reflections, refractions, things on top of other things, different images that are on top of other images. Fuzziness? How the fuck am I going to approach this? I don't know. I've never read any of Fujimoto's art or work. I've never seen any of it before. So, I don't know. Clarity. Phone screens. Viewing the world through a screen. An image, a scanner darkly. There are so many things evoked just by this framework. She exists in his eyes via the screen, through the camera, but maybe not otherwise, something like that. There's a distinct lack of clarity around what's on the screen, and then what's on the screen is lit and clear. This is a real impression that you can get as you're using a screen or a phone to look at stuff, or using it to clarify what's there. Maybe our main character has difficulty connecting directly with people. Like, one doesn't put barriers that aren't barriers between themselves and the world without reason. And one doesn't see through devices or see through screens without purpose. If this were a different frame and we were looking at this character who I assume is Eri, I'm actually just guessing, might be wrong, and say we were looking through a pair of sunglasses, for example, and in the sunglasses there were sunglasses, and outside the sunglasses we could see the outside as it is, right? That would give us an indication or a feeling that we're trapped behind a barrier or closed off from this character in some way. Like there's this ability to connect perhaps through the medium that we're using, but it's not complete and it's not very real. Perhaps we can only connect with this character through the screen. But then we raise another question, which is, what's the background that's visible within the screen that's not visible outside it? Is it actually the same character that we're dealing with here? Or is it like an impression or an idea or a falsehood layered on top? I don't know. And then what's with the barred background? It doesn't look like... It looks like it could be window pane bars. It doesn't look like jail cell bars or anything quite that evocative, but it does have a similar framework. It's literally a frame, right? And then the school uniform, I think, is a school uniform. Or the outfit, I think, is a school uniform. It doesn't look like a traditional seirafuku, but it might be. Immediately and starkly, the blue-orange is awesome. Or gray-orange, even. It's blue onto the screen, but gray everywhere else. It's got enough blue in it to be blue-orange. It's blue-orange. I wonder if the manga itself is colored. All the way into like a light teal for her eyes. And the bits of hair. Okay. First impressions. Phone screens again, black and white. Okay. Whoa, why the fuzzy? Is it because we're through a camera? Is that what's going on? I got a smartphone for my birthday. This is my mom and dad. And this is me. I just started middle school. Woo! Ta-da! Here's my birthday. Here's my birthday. Here's my birthday cake. It's shortcake with whipped cream. Happy 12th birthday, Yuta. So this fuzzy effect that we've got over everything is simultaneously mediocre digital camera quality, and he's moving it around all the time, right? Moving it around all the time? Okay. So immediately, I got a smartphone for my birthday, starts experiencing the world through the smartphone. She is clarity, right? Everything else is fuzzy because it's seen through the wibbliness of the screen. And everything's memory. So it's a recording. Recordings have clarity in a way that mental recordings or memories don't. But they also have flaws, limitedness in a way that we don't. I wonder if we're going to keep depicting this character's face. I wonder how detailed faces are going to be. So immediately they're realistic in that they're not caricatures of people. They're not anime style caricatures. They're built to. You can make gross faces like this. Those of you who came off of reading Poon Poon with me will know what I mean. Partly that has to do with McCloud's masking effect, which has to do with the masks that we wear and the way that using low detail characters helps us identify with the character, and high detail character separates them from us. My expectation would be low detail or no visualization of our character himself, and then very high detail of the characters around him, at least when viewed through the screen, creating that separation. That's just a guess from the first page. Yuta, listen, as your mom, can I make a small request? Ah! You know how I could die from my illness? How does that make you feel? And the father's face. So we hold clarity on her for a second. We're able to see her, but then it shatters as she actually asks the question. And his response is avoidance. I don't feel like talking about that on my birthday. Yuta, listen. The father doesn't want to talk about it either, but we can tell that they've had this conversation. He disagrees with this happening, but is not going to be able to stop it. Because he's stuck in this too. Holy shit! Okay, we stop here. Nope. Yuta, listen. I want you to start shooting videos of me. Huh? On video, you can hear my voice and see me move. That way, even if I'm gone, you can still remember me. Can you do that for me? She didn't talk to him about this. That surprise on his face. Okay. Okay. Thank you. You get that face from his father, and then back. Happy birthday, Yuta. Okay. So that's the first of those recordings, right? Because he was recording for his birthday. So we get the fuzziness of things that are missing, replaced by the fuzziness of actual recordings of their existence. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I think interesting. I'm torn here. I'm torn here. I'm going to tell a story. I've told it before. I'm not sure where, but I'm going to tell a story and it'll explain why I think I'm torn here. When I was in, I think, middle school or so, I went on a trip to Chile with my mom. My aunt was living in Chile to work for the United Nations library there. In Santiago, Chile is the United Nations library that deals with all of the shipping and trading law of the sea. And she was working there. Went and visited. It was a winter break here on the northern hemisphere, so it was summer there in the southern hemisphere, and very, very nice. We went to a lovely region in southern Chile called the Lakes District, which is beautiful, and so called because there are lots of lakes, and lots of forests, and lots of almost rainforests, and plenty of water. One of the places we went was to a grand waterfall. The biggest that I've ever seen except Niagara Falls, I think. But Niagara Falls, you can't really get quite close to in the same sort of way. It's like built out, you know? This was mid nature. Had to walk a mile or so away from any sort of road or whatever to get up to this majestic waterfall. And the first thing is that you can hear it. And then you start to feel that there's humidity in the air, like a little mist in the air. And you start to see that there's this ethereal quality to everything, that you feel those little pinpricks of water all across your skin as you're walking through the landscape. And the trees start to change, and there becomes more moss on the trees and more lichen and more living things because there's more water. And then eventually we come up to the bit of a clearing and we see the thing itself. Huge cascades of water tumbling down, and it's inexplicable. It's a continuous flow of thousands of gallons, immense tons, literal physical tons of water cascading down, crashing against rocks, splashing everywhere, creating this mist and this spray. It's not something that can be taken or captured or put aside or saved. And the whole time that we were there, I was soaking it in, observing it. And the whole time that we were there, my mother was trying to take a damn picture of me with it. And I got very frustrated with her because it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. There's no taking that with you. There's no taking it home. There's no taking a picture of it. And in fact, I think it actually detracts from the experience to try. It's a medium failure. It's using the wrong media for the thing. The right media is to shut up, open your eyes, open your ears, and experience it as much as possible. The wrong media is to take a digital camera from 17 years ago or whatever, piece of crap, and take a bunch of shitty little pictures of this beautiful waterfall and put them in a scrapbook somewhere and forget that they exist. The worst thing that you can do is go back through and have those as a failed, thin interpretation. Those are your memory now. You've actually foregone the real experience of the real memory of actually being there and having this thing and feeling it and seeing it in order to see it through a lens and capture it. Now, you gain something by capturing it. You gain that permanence, but you lose the fidelity completely. And you twist the purpose, right? My mother was trying to make a selfish... She was trying to take the waterfall with her. And that's not what you do. The waterfall stays where it is. You enjoy it while you're there. You don't take a piece of it with you. You take the experience. You take the feeling of being there. But you can't take it with you. So, I tell this story because it's a foundational experience in my life, I think. And it is an experience that says, for me, recordings ain't shit. I really don't think that they're worth that much. And that's very interesting considering that I, record myself experiencing things all the time. But I do think that there's a pretty big difference between, say, recording a humanistic directed experience of a thing. I'm looking at a piece of art, right? Versus trying to capture my feeling of being in a place. Or perhaps my relationship with another human being. See, that too. Family home videos and videos of myself and videos of things like that have never done it for me. Maybe I'm the weird one there, and fair enough. But there's something about this that rings of that. It's like the idea of recording all these experiences so that you live on in memory, or in recording, is pretty cool. But does it detract from the actual ability to literally, physically, directly experience? Is Yuta's experience of his mom now going to be like that first frame, looking through a screen at her all the time? Doesn't that lose something? Isn't something missing there? Even if you can go back and re-experience those things, if they weren't the full experience in the moment, Didn't you lose something you can't ever get back? I think I'd much rather spend the time completely with the parent who I'm going to lose from a disease than have the ability to go back and repeat a half-spent time, you know? I'd rather sit there and look my mother in the eye and speak to her and be there with her and have that as a foggy memory in my distant memory 10 years later than have a less full memory depicted in a medium that I can actually go back and look at directly. Which is more valuable, the recording of the experience or the actuality of the experience? I say the actuality of the experience. But I might be wrong. So we're like 3 pages in, we've already raised, 6 page, whatever. We've already raised some fucking fascinating questions about the way that we interpret reality. Let alone the exceptionally dramatic introduction of life or death, terminal illness style stakes for a child. Like foundational stuff. You know, we came off of Goodnight Poon Poon, and that starts us off in childhood with some foundational events as well. Oh my god. Right? Like some trauma. Boom! Hey, if you couldn't tell, there's some trauma in that story. Enjoy. Boom. Man, this hits with some trauma, too. Fucking birthday cake, dead mom. Pow. Right out the gate. Happy birthday, kiddo, your mom's dying. So we continue, and he does begin those recordings. We're on a family trip to the aquarium. Dad's here, too, because he's off work. Dun 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 dun! Here's the finished parfait. Let me see how it tastes. A stray cat. Mom and Dad are watching TV. They're laughing. I will say, at some point, I'll probably end up doing voices for characters, but we'll do that when we get there and when they feel right. I don't know if there will be any ubu poochie going on in this one. No! Mom's gonna poo. No filming. Stray cat number 4. Mom's about to take a bath. Camera off, Buster. Dad's crying in secret. Yeah. Dad's asleep. Mom, too. I'm keeping watch in case she dies in her sleep. That's casual. My parents bought me a PC because my smartphone ran out of space. I've shot about 6 total hours of video now. 6 hours! Full phone. Jesus, tell me this is from the 2010s without telling me it's from the 2010s. When was this written? It was released in 2022. Well, he's 12 now, so the timing makes sense. Jesus. This is Mom all dressed up. It's date night. There's something really great about all of these visuals. She feels sick. She does. In her facial features and in there's this sense of barely strong enough. Like almost weak. And the faded in the eyes. The smile is there, but it's a little bit forced. Interesting. I'm in the hospital for tests. It's surprisingly comfy here. How many points do you give Dad's cooking? 50. Out of? Dad's crying. This is Taguchi, the nurse. She's close to my mom. It's Tauchi. This is a scrape I got. Looks nasty. My video file has crossed the 40-hour mark. I'm staying home from school starting tomorrow, because Mom's in the hospital for real now. This is my face right now. Damn. I'm unwell all the time now. Feels like this might last until I die. This is the hospital food. It tastes bland. I don't know if it's the food or my taste buds. I don't know which one of them is speaking there. Could be either. Hospital food has a reputation for tasting awful, but depression has a reputation for causing food to taste awful too. So it's worth noting. Hey now, kiddo. There's no need to film your dad. I cooked this. How many points do I get? 2. Images of her looking out. 3 toothbrushes where there will be 2 soon. The father pushing the filming away. How long do you think until the father bursts? We'll see. I have over 100 hours of video files now. Also, I guess my mom might not have long now. I still can't wrap my head around it, so I'm not even sad about it, no. I'm sad. I am. That's interesting. The feeling of not knowing if I'm feeling correctly. You know what I mean? In X difficult situation, I think I should feel Y. So then why don't I? Or do I, and this is what that feels like? Is this grief? Is this the appropriate emotion to have? Should my emotions be appropriate? But here, as he records all of this, at these little opportunities of honesty or almost journaling. It's more than just recording because we get these personal moments and this narration. He acts as his own narrator. This is my dad doing X. This is me doing Y. So it ends up being like a journal, a set of private thoughts. No, I'm sad. I am. The cycle. And a beginning obsession with death, right? So we'll see if that goes in other directions. Yuta, your mom's in her final moments now. Yuta, it's time to go to the hospital. We're unable to connect with him. That's something that this fuzzy aesthetic that we've been using has really managed. We're disconnecting from our own emotions. We're connected to the mom. We're really disconnecting from the father. Like, we're pretty stable on the mom most of the time. But on the self, not stable. Not unless the face is framed out of it. And on the father, not stable. Here we're stable, but again, the face is framed out. It's not seeing himself. Here we can't even look up at the father. Let alone the looming house or... Oh man. Your mom, she wants you to film her until her dying breath. And he makes no statement of his own thoughts on it. Yuta, come here. Where are you going? Yuta, hey! Yuta, come back! Yuta! Yuta! Oh. Well, there's a start for some regret. Whether you film it or you experience it, the one thing you don't want to do is run away from it. Because then you're not there, man. Oh no. Oh no. His mother's name isn't Airy, right? That isn't what this story is about. Obtaining the ability to say goodbye when you've missed the only opportunity you'll ever have. This happens so often. This happens so often. People are really scared of death. Especially the death of somebody that they care about or know. I don't believe in an afterlife generally. I don't disbelieve there's no evidence either one way or another, so I don't believe in in an afterlife generally. So I think that it matters little to the person who dies because they're dead. Up until the moment they die, I think they're in a pivotal point, and the way that other people treat them during those moments are the most important moments of their lives. But I think for the person who's not dying, who's observing someone dying, experiencing the death of another person can be one of the most important points in your life. And running away from it is maybe the worst thing that you can ever do. Because you're going to have to experience it yourself one day. And you can't run away. First, it's such a great betrayal to walk away. In this case, in his mother's greatest time of need. Direct request to. Such a betrayal. Second, well, she's not around to chastise him for said betrayal, right? It's all internal. So it's all self-inflicted. And so there's no running away from that. And then you can't reckon with death. And you need to reckon with death. Everyone needs to. Children need to. It's so important. It's so important. I'm so grateful. When I was young, again in middle and high school, I think, early high school, we had a community service requirement. You were required to go and do some number of hours of community service. And people went and they picked up trash or they did other things. I volunteered at a hospice. And mostly I did back office work and stuff. But I did walk the floor and visit with some of the patients sometimes and sit with dying people. I didn't sit with anyone who died as they actually passed on. But I did sit with them and talk with them and be with them. And I'm grateful for it. Because being a little bit closer to a thing like death is being a little bit closer to being human. And if you run away from it, you're a little bit further away from human. Of course he runs away here. Of course he does. And there's no... It's understandable. But it's not the right move. So I'm glad to see this in a story. I'm glad you're seeing it in a story too. So that if you find yourself in a position like this, you remember this moment and make the other choice. Go into the hospital. Sit by the bed. Listen to the horrifying death rattle. You'll be there one day. If you're lucky, you'll have someone to be there with you. Pay it forward if you can. So he runs away, leaving his father alone, and his mother's last wish to him unfulfilled. And this time it's no camera fuzz. These are tears in his eyes and pure sketchy hell. A whirlwind of emotion. Oh. And a contorted scream. And a heroic imagination? Yeah. Yeah. A coping mechanism. A reframing and a visualization as an action hero thing. I have to get away from this terrible thing. Oh no. Did he? No. No. Don't take your greatest shame and show it to everybody, man. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. That was a documentary from Class 1B's Yuta Ito, Dead Explosion Mother. Next up is a performance by the Pop Music Club. My movie just finished playing. Let's see what everybody thinks. Oh, he's filming himself. Holy shit, he made a movie. And he didn't go and experience your death. Everybody saw you run away, bro. What the fuck? Oh no. I think I speak for all of us when I say I have, like, no idea what the heck we just watched. Real talk, it's hard to sing after watching such a crappy movie. They don't even get it. They're not even criticizing it for the right reason. Like, get up there and go, yo, that was a tone-deaf, fucked up little thing we just watched. This dude filmed his mom dying, and then she asked him to film her last moments, and he didn't, and he ran away. That's fucked up. That's really fucked up. You know, my mom died a few years ago of cancer, and I had the stones to go and sit there and listen as she died in front of me and breathed her last breaths rattlingly, haltingly. She spoke in her sleep. Talked about aliens and weird shit. Felt like I was losing her the whole time. Terrible and awful. This fucker just walked away, and then he made a movie about it. But instead we get absolutely no intent to understand. Complete comical, cackling criticism. He's gonna jump off the building. He's gonna go kill himself. He's gonna go kill himself. That's step 2. Okay, maybe that's the goodbye. What the how short is it? It's 200 pages. He can't go kill himself. Ha 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 blah. Ha ha ha. Okay, you guys, let's get back on track. Here's our first song. Stop, son. I'm glaring at a sun that won't budge. It needs a kickstart. All the same faces, the same friends and family, and never apart. The only thing that ever moves is my girl's heart. Yeah. Blech. Yuta, come with me. Yuta. Hey, stop recording. Put your phone away. I'm partly responsible for not screening it beforehand. Still, you should know better than to make a movie like that. It's making a mockery of your mother's death. Why did you go and turn it into a movie? That's just wrong. Again, also not understanding at all. I understand why he made it into a movie. He's so desperate to try to express the fucked up insanity that's going on inside his brain right now. Duh. Boy needs therapy. I had about 100 hours of footage, so I edited it down so it'd be easier to watch. Then I added some good sounding music and, I just had a movie. Click, click. Don't you feel bad for your late mother showing a video like that? Do I feel bad? No? That ending. Why did you have an explosion like that at the end? That was awesome, right? Absolute disconnect, isn't it? Do you think a person's death is awesome? What's wrong with you? Whoa. What did I think? The ending sucked. It made me sick to my stomach. I have serious doubts about your sense of morals. Put yourself in your mom's shoes. You're despicable. Why? Why would you turn that into a movie? It was one bad movie. Ha 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 ha. It was shit. My mom died last year, too. That's why I can't forgive you. But not for turning it into a movie. That's not the problem. Why'd you add the explosion at the end? Because he didn't go in there, man. Hey, all. This one goes out to all the people who made fun of me. He's gonna go jump off the building! He's gonna go jump off the building! Y'all made fun of me. Guess this is what you wanted? Fuck y'all. God, shitting dick titties. Wiffle waffling duck butts. If you're watching this, there it is. Yay. Then I'm already dead. I've committed suicide by jumping off the roof of the hospital where my mom died. I put the entirety of my middle school life into making that movie. Do you guys have any idea how it feels to get mocked? Are you thinking, why would you kill yourself over that? If that's how you feel, you deserve to die too. Oh my god. I don't care about making a movie about it either. In fact, I think the making a movie about it part is honestly kind of sweet in some ways. I do. If I put aside my qualms about the recording thing, and we can easily do that. We just put those aside by saying the mother asked for it. She wanted a recording of herself for her son's future. Reasonable. It's like when a parent who knows that they're going to die writes birthday letters out into the future for the next 30 years or whatever, right? Or does film themselves and make like video logs for every year for the future or whatever it is. I think my problem there is that she asked her son to film it, which is not a good idea. But the overall problem, the biggest problem that I have is that he didn't go in and experience her death. That's where he fucked up. I think that making the movie out of it, the explosion thing, all of that stuff has to do with this fundamental disconnect from the moment of his mother's death. He's unable to relate to it. He's unable to fathom it, and so he's experimenting with trying to. He's reorganizing what pieces of her he does have. He's reorganizing the bits of information that he does have, and he's desperate to try to share them with somebody, mostly so that he can get some inferences back as to how he should be feeling. That's why I say the kid needs therapy. He should be sitting with a professional going through these tapes, thinking about them, talking about how they feel. Instead, he's assaulted and attacked by people. They already take it as this perspective of you fucked this up, kid. Like you did something wrong. And he doesn't understand what he did wrong. He doesn't have the emotional connection to the event that he should. He's actually so far traumatized by it that he's beyond closed off to it. He can't feel about it. He's trying to. That's why it's so flippant. That's why we get the explosion there and the action movie running away from it. It's awesome explosion. It's all cover. It's all makeup. It's all trying to make it fit with the nature of emotion, the nature of feeling, the nature of being overwhelmed by this thing. Of course he can't. He can never overcome this. And it's all because he didn't go in. No, sorry. He can never overcome this until he re-experiences something close to it. In a different way. Yeah. Humans can overcome almost any trauma, but we have to be re-exposed to a similar form of trauma in small doses. Will he somehow meet character Eri, experience her the same way, and find out that she's terminally ill similarly, and go, or something, and go through some kind of journey of acceptance of death that's going to enable him to be a whole human? He doesn't see the disconnect between this filming thing that he was doing and the actual events. And of course he doesn't, going back to that scene where he's holding the camera up to himself in the mirror. Of course he doesn't. He hasn't been able to wrap his head around his emotions at all. At all. He wasn't during the whole lead up to it. And then in the moment when it would have sunk in and grief would have happened, like in that moment where your mother actually dies and you're there and you sit there and you watch her die and you know it's happened and there's no running away from it. Either you run away completely from yourself and you discombobulate completely, totally possible, full dissociation, totally possible. Or, I think more likely, more accurately, more aptly, the way that humans actually do and have, because we are built to deal with death, is you deal with it and you recognize the truth that you can't get away from. And having the finality of it allows that. That whole moment where he's standing there in front of the mirror, he's lacking finality. It hasn't sunk in yet. I haven't been able to wrap my head around it, so I don't know how to feel. I don't even feel sad. Wait, no, I do feel sad. That's that moment. It needs to crash over you. It needs to overwhelm. You gotta dunk all the way under the water. You can't just go halfway. Yeah, actually, in terms of trauma and grief, this is just true. It's just true. Avoidant behavior toward emotion literally doesn't work, ever. It does not work, period. The way to feel them is to feel them completely. To feel them completely. I did this so stupidly with my friend on Friday. We had a get-together on Friday. My roommate came home. He was absolutely furious. Just like, huffing around the... He's not very mature. Huffing around the house, slamming doors, pulling stuff apart. I can't find my AirPods. Throwing a tantrum. It took him like an hour to just get him to talk to me for a sec. I got him to talk to me. And what I got him to do, it's like, I'm trying to hold it in, man. I'm trying not to feel this. Like, no, fuck that. Feel it completely. Go, ah! It's like, no, people are gonna hear me. Just shut up and do it. I just did it. They don't care. Go, ah! He did it. Like, no, for real. Do it for real. And I screamed as loud as I could and told him to do it. And he screamed as loud as he could. It's like, okay, you're angry. Yeah, I'm angry. It's okay. You can be angry. I'm angry. Spent like 2 hours trying to not feel what he was feeling, frustrated and angry and shit, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. You spend 30 seconds going, ah, and actually feeling it, and it works. And you can overcome it, because you actually felt it completely. It's true about any emotion. You try to tamp it down, it doesn't work. You ever try not to laugh in a classroom when your teacher is telling you not to laugh? You can't. Laugh it out. You ever try not to be sad when you're actually sad? You can't. Feel it out. You ever try not to feel grief and trauma when you should be feeling grief and trauma around the death of the human who's biologically closest to you in the entire universe, who you actually love? Yeah, it doesn't work. You should probably feel that death and trauma. Instead, you run away and then try in failing, faulty, fucked up, mistaken, broken ways to re-experience it. And like so many people, he's gonna, if he survives this suicide attempt, which I assume he will, otherwise the manga would be 40 pages long, then he's gonna try in other ways to try to re-experience the trauma, and maybe to punish himself, even. Maybe to punish himself for having failed to follow through. Oh shit, this is intricate. Ah shit. Fuckity fuckity fuck. Fuckity fuckity fuck. And then the interpretation of it's amazing. I love this. The first 3 frames where he's just... Because what's happening? Everybody's attacking me and making fun of me. I didn't do a thing wrong. I'm just trying to survive. My mom died. Now everybody's attacking me. Assholes. So this goes out to all you fuckers who are trying to cause harm. Self-awareness, 0. 0. He's a kid. Ah, it brings me right back to Poon Poon, man. Right back to it. Yeah. If that's how you feel, you deserve to die too. Oh. Dad, when you find this video, I have a request. Please don't be sad. Show this video to the jerks who made fun of me. Make them remember me for the rest of their lives. The opposite of his mom's perspective, and he's lost it all. This world is filled with death. Memento mori. This is Yuta signing off. Goodbye. Lame. It's lame as shit, kid. It's such a busted-ass lame thing to do. So fucking stupid. I'm sorry if there's anybody suicidal in the chat. It's so fucking stupid. Idiotic. Ridiculous. Blech. Blech. Just go sell yourself into indentured servitude and be useful. Seriously. Go scrub streets until you starve or something. Like, go be useful. It's not hard. It'll even make your life worthwhile really fast. Fucking shit. Ugh. Up we go, up we go, up we go. To the roof we are. There's that pattern, maybe. So, this is the point of inflection. We have to have a shift here. It should be meeting the character, right? Meet girl on roof, right? Okay, we look down. Fuzzy Fuzzy comes into clarity and focus. That's real down there, man. That's really real. Up he gets. You gonna jump? What? And there she is. Pretty, boyish. Not dark lines around her eyes, but enough to show some sleeplessness. Not overly feminine. Interesting. If you want to die, don't do it here. You'll hurt the hospital's reputation. Go die at the hospital near the station. The doctors there are total jerks. Do it there. Also, if you're serious about dying, the money in your wallet... Huh? Wait a sec. No way. Are you by any chance Yuta Ito from Dead Explosion Mother? Yeah. That's me. She looks and her eyes narrow slightly. Come with me. What? Ripped out of this space. Down the street. And away. Hyper-detailed backgrounds. Masking effect in full effect. Bada bingo! Bada bango! It begins. And we're really locked in and tunneled. So here, we're whipped around incoherent, incoherent. Each of these frames is a tunnel. Tunnel. Right? There's also a flashcard or a flip frame with Eri as centerpiece. She's just anchored herself into his world. He will follow her until the end of time. Visually, that's the experience that we just got. We're now tunneled in. She's center frame. We will follow her until the end of time. Space and shape warps around her in each of these panels. Depth of field. Boom. Boom. Bam. Where are we? And here again, she guides us into this place. And sits down with us. Projector, and a bunch of films and manga, and his movie. What is this? Why are you showing me a movie? No talking during movies. Who are you? Is this place yours? No talking during movies. I'll tell you if you keep quiet for the next 9 hours. After this movie, we're watching 4 more. And no, it's not my place. We're trespassing in an old abandoned building. I bought the projector. And he shuts up and turns back to the movie. Thanks for the charger. It's 2 a.m. I'm leaving. Why are you recording me? So that's the recording, and this is the reality. Snap, snap. Bigger question. The movies were good and all, but who are you, and why'd you show them to me? I didn't tell you already? No, you didn't! Haven't seen that many movies, have you? I've seen the movies they play on TV. That's not nearly enough. You have to watch more. Why? Because you can't make a film everyone will like unless you've watched a ton of them. Oh, great. Are you one of those people who have a problem with my movie? I've got a few! It's shit! Oh, I had plenty of problems with it, but it had an edge you rarely see, and the surprises outnumbered its faults. It's an immature work for sure, yet despite it running for close to 20 minutes, I could watch it all without getting bored. And it blurred the way it blurred the line between fact and fiction, for me that was a good puzzle. What's this about? You still haven't answered me. Your movie was super awesome. She's out of her gourd. But it was just as frustrating as it was good. I was the only person in that gym who was crying. Everyone else used it as material for their jokes, and that really pissed me off. That's why you're going to make another movie. Starting tomorrow for the next year, you're going to increase your input by watching loads of movies. Then, next year, you're going to shoot a new movie and show it at the school festival. Next time, don't you want to make them all bawl their eyes out? I like the sound of that. I'll be your manager. Don't worry, I'm confident I watch more movies than anyone in this town. Okay, I think I get it now, but who are you anyway? I'm Ari. Put her there? Yeah. We're back, folks. Dad, I'm home. Welcome home. Oh, you guys, did you know? Life is beautiful, bright, and pure. To anyone considering suicide, don't throw your life away. We all die one day. You should give life another try until your number comes up. Wishing you all well. This is Yuta signing off. Thanks. Goodbye. And we're going to stop there. Because that is episode 1, and that's our setup. And our full call to action directly in via Ari. She's me. She's me! Oh, okay, it's a me. One thing I will say is that there is a distinct difference between watching a bunch of film and actually creating literally anything. Same with, like, looking at a bunch of paintings and then trying to draw something. Good luck. Or reading a bunch of books and then trying to write a book. Good luck. But it is the place to start. And you're certainly not going to start without it. And you could, oh shit, what are they called? I'm thinking of Henri Rousseau. The tiger one. Naive or primitive. That's what I was looking for. You can get naive artists who have never had any formal teaching or even like real exposure to other art. Henri Julien Félix Rousseau of France was is somebody you can look up in that realm. His picture, the tiger in a storm scared or whatever it is fucking fascinating. And that's naive or primitivists. When he showed this off, people laughed at him for good reason. It's kind of crap in like traditional French school style things. But his work has become seen as something pretty fucking incredible because he's kind of a self-taught genius, honestly. And so there is the possibility of creating amazing things. She sees the edge in his work and is herself out of her gourd, probably. strongly reminiscent of some other characters. Who am I thinking of? This is a dynamic that I've seen before. This sort of artistically, well, it almost fits the dynamic of muse and poet, like almost. It's interesting. It's interesting for sure. Obsessed. So she's found someone that she can pull into her own obsession and utilize. And he's found someone who's interested in him in a moment of great dispassion. And he, over all of this, flips from his previous perspective and his suicidal inclination to a beautiful world. A beautiful world worth living in. And we'll see. Apologies for the angle grinder that's going out there. Sorry about that. I'm going to wrap here for part 1 of Goodbye Airy. We'll probably do it over the course of maybe 2 more readings. Either way, it'll be pretty quick, and we'll continue it on. In future, next week's reading will be up on the Patreon. Check it out, linked in the description, and you can support the channel there. If you liked the video or enjoyed the whole experience, give it a like, comment down below what you think about it. Please don't spoil stuff. I look forward to talking to all you guys about the media itself. If you've got any insights about the style, or Fujimoto's art, or Fujimoto himself, or literally anything, let me know. Or, yeah, any other recommendations, I'm happy to hear them. And I'll see you next week for more Manga Monday. The slot begins! And I'm excited for it. We will be following up Goodbye Airy with Fire Punch. Just saying. And then third on the poll for winners was Vagabond. We might read that after Fire Punch. I'm not sure. Either way, it will be Goodbye Airy and then Fire Punch on the Mondays for right now. Thanks so much for watching me for this first week. What an interesting one to enter into. I'm sure I'm going to have more thoughts about it next week. I've done my best, but we'll do more. We'll do more when we get there. As we find out more about what movies are, what they take, and do an evaluation of what it means to create something in the first place. It's always interesting to see a creative medium express a creative medium. Usually tends to give me the impression that the person writing it knows what they're talking about and that there's much to be gained. I'm excited to continue on this journey with you, and I'll see you next week for more. Peace.